Hey there, Transformers. Happy Thursday afternoon to you. It's been a couple of weeks since we've last seen one another. I hope you enjoyed your holidays off if you were celebrating the American holiday last week. But we're back to it today. We're back with the newest edition of Engineering Your Energy, talking about the importance of sleep and specifically why sleep is so important to your productivity. Now, I posted yesterday a statistic that insufficient sleep has an estimated economic impact of over $411 billion each year in the United States alone. $411 billion of waste from insufficient sleep. Now, I come from a background of working in 24/7 manufacturing operations. And so we had, of course, shift work with that, employees working not only off shifts, but oftentimes 12 to 16 hours a day of work. Now, if you're working 16 hours a day, that means you are for sure not getting 8 hours of sleep, as is recommended by the World Health Organization. In fact, what is recommended is a minimum of 7 hours of sleep for most adults. So, safe to say, the majority of people that I worked around, myself included, were getting insufficient sleep, which leads to mistakes, illness, likelihood of injury, to name a few side effects of insufficient sleep. But that's pretty astounding to consider when we are talking about our economic strength, that nearly $500 billion a year is lost in our economic impact from insufficient sleep, from not getting adequate amounts of sleep every night. Now, of course, this is a dual ownership, not only from how our organizations are run, but also the individual decisions that we make about our relationship to sleep. But I believe that sleep is one of the primary burnout martyrs. And so I want to talk a little bit about why I want to change your mind about sleep. So we're going to go back 4 years to the summer of 2017. I was working for a large food and beverage manufacturer at the time as maintenance and engineering manager. Now, there was a week-long incident where one of our biggest pump systems was down, which really was focused to over 50% of our manufacturing. So these pumps were not functional, and we had been troubleshooting for literal days. We were bringing people in from Germany to help us troubleshoot. It was a big ordeal. We're standing outside at these pumps and working on getting them back up and running. And next thing I know, I'm in an earthquake. I've been in an earthquake before prior to working for this organization. I worked for another out in California where we experienced our fair share of shaky ground. But I was in the middle of Kansas and there was not, in fact, an earthquake occurring. It was instead my body having a very physical response to burnout. Went to urgent care, chatted with the doctor on call, and I will never forget her words. She told me, Caroline, you need to find a different job. You're not sleeping. This was surprising to me because I had a pretty consistent routine of shutting the lights off at 10 to 10:30 p.m. and I'd wake up at 5:45, 5:30 in the morning and start getting ready for the workday. So I thought, I'm getting roughly 7 hours of sleep from when I go to sleep to when I wake up. But there were a couple of things that should have been indicators to me back then. Number one, I was always tired. I was a slave really to my caffeine, my coffee intake. I could not have coffee on a daily basis. More than that, I had 5, sometimes 6 cups of coffee before the lunchtime hour. And then, not to mention, I would drink an energy drink after work before I went to the gym. I was desperate for caffeine to make it through my day, even though I was in theory sleeping 7 hours a night. Second, I wasn't having any dreams. Now, dreams occur in what's known as our REM or rapid eye movement phase of sleep. This is where memory consolidation occurs. And REM plays this delicate dance with our deep sleep, our stage three of sleep, where as one lengthens, the other shortens. Stage three is where our critical restoration, our repair, our immune system support, our brain support is all occurring. And I was not getting to that stage of sleep. I was sleeping with my phone next to my bed. I was fielding phone calls, text messages at all hours of the night. My body was on alert because I did not want to miss any indication from work that I was needed. So while I may have been in bed with my eyes closed for 7 hours a night, I was not getting quality sleep. So let's talk a little bit about what, in fact, is happening during sleep. During sleep, your immune system is releasing these special proteins called cytokines. Now, those cytokines are helping to promote sleep. And these little buddies are needed to increase when you have infection or when you have inflammation or when you're under stress. So, if we are getting inadequate quality and quantity of sleep, it then decreases the production of these very necessary cytokines to help balance your stress, to help support your immune system, and to help reduce the aches and pains and illness that you have in your life. So, if you have a very high stress job, if you're feeling the effects of burnout and you're not sleeping, then your body is not producing the very proteins that it needs to help combat stress. Now, also, when you are experiencing that high amount of stress, your body is releasing adrenaline. And when your body releases adrenaline, then it inhibits the stickiness of your T cells. Your T cells are the little warriors of your immune system. And what they do is they go and they latch on to viruses, to certain types of cancer, to the foreign body that is wreaking havoc in your immune system. So they are your little fighters. And when you're experiencing an increase in adrenaline in your body, then that stickiness is inhibited, which means those T cells can't do their job of them fighting infection, fighting inflammation. So, if we're concerned about the strength of our immune system, and ding, 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 winter is the time in which we typically fight more foreign objects, more viruses, more illness. And if you're overly stressed, not sleeping, then your T cells aren't sticky and attaching to attack those foreign bodies. So, very important succession of events there that all starts with sleep. Now, with that, our brain is also being supported while we sleep. Our working memory is being consolidated. Our attention, our ability to make decisions is all dependent upon our ability to get into those deep stages of sleep, our visual motor performance. So, if we're getting insufficient sleep, then we're not able to do our deep critical thinking in the time that follows our sleep period, which means that if you sacrifice sleep tonight, tomorrow you're going to be more prone to making error, mistakes in your work. It's going to take you longer to complete your tasks. Your brain is not going to be functioning at the level that you needed to get caught back up. So you sacrificing the sleep tonight to feel like you are staying afloat, in fact, exacerbates the issue, because you're going to be repeating your steps, you're going to be fixing your errors, you're going to be wasting time doing the same tasks. Now, there's a really interesting study that was done at the beginning of this millennium that showed that people who got 5 hours of sleep consistently on a nightly basis experienced a significant cognitive slowdown that they were oblivious to. They thought they were still operating at a highly functional place, but in fact, it was taking them much longer to complete their tasks. They were making far more mistakes when they were completing these tasks, and they were at a higher risk for injury. So, by getting less sleep, you're actually making your overwhelm problem more substantial. because your body doesn't have the ability to repair itself from the stress and strain of the day. And then your cognitive function is slowing down in the time that follows. All of this is incredibly important as we're talking about burnout, because burnout is often categorized with symptoms of extreme fatigue and with feelings of overwhelm, of being unable to keep up with life's natural rhythms, all of which sleep helps to support. Not only that, but chronic sleep deprivation and alterations in our circadian rhythm, such as shift work, increases our risk for obesity, for hypertension, for heart disease, immune system dysfunction, infection, inflammation, and certain types of cancer. So, when we consider our workforce and supporting them in their ability to work well, we must keep this in mind that the human body is designed with an internal clock for our health, for our vitality, for our longevity. And when we mess with that circadian rhythm, that it can lead to further dishealth. Now, what do we do about this, right? We have to come up with solutions that make sense for our economy, that make sense for our business, right? And there are a couple of different things. One, really invest in the quality of your sleep. If quantity is a struggle, invest in the quality of your sleep. If you can, get a tracker that monitors what's known as your heart rate variability. This is an acronym HRV. And this is really a great indicator of the quality of your sleep because it's measuring how your body is fluctuating between the two branches of the nervous system, which is an incredible indicator of your overall well-being. And if you're spending too much time in the sympathetic branch of the nervous system, which is responsible for your fight or flight response, then you're not getting the quality sleep that you need. What you can do to help with this is eliminate stressful activities immediately before going to bed. Implement what I call a power down hour, where you turn off technology up to an hour before you go to bed. You do low intensity items. Maybe you're tidying up around the house. Maybe you're reading a book. Maybe you're listening to soft music, but opt to eliminate high stress, including working right before you go to bed and including exercise, vigorous exercise in the hour or two before you go to bed. By reducing the amount of stress, getting technology out of the bedroom, your body is going to respond with a deeper quality of sleep. Also, eliminate your caffeine after noon if your bedtime is approximately 10 o'clock. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 hours, which means that it takes your body double that to completely eliminate caffeine from its system. And when there's caffeine in your system while you sleep, it will inhibit your body's ability to get into those deeper stages of sleep. So if you're drinking caffeine in the afternoon hours, yes, you're still going to be able to fall asleep. The same thing is true about alcohol as well. You're going to be able to fall asleep, but the quality of your sleep will be greatly impaired. So by setting a clock, limiting your intake of caffeine and alcohol, especially in the later half of the day, you're going to be improving that quality of sleep. So those are some key takeaways that you can immediately implement to begin to improve the quality of sleep. If you can, begin to improve and protect the quantity of sleep as well. Start in just 15-minute increments. If you're currently getting 5 hours of sleep, try to get 5:15 tonight, 5:30 tomorrow night, 5:45. Get into the rhythm of protecting your sleep. I'm here to chat if you have more questions about how to get quality and quantity sleep that you need in order to improve your productivity and decrease your experience of stress and burnout. You can message me directly or you can drop a comment on this video to let me know. Before I sign off, there are two things I want to leave you with, folks. It is the end of the year, which means that you might begin to think about the different experience of health that you want in the coming year, either for yourself and for your employees. Right now, I am working on partnering with corporate clients to provide employee wellness with a focus on holistic productivity. So, if you're a decision maker within your organization and you're currently considering ways of supporting your employee workforce, improving their productivity, increasing their wellness, then I encourage you, let's chat. I'd love to have a conversation with that. DM me, and we'll discuss what works for you so that we can design a custom program for you and your organization. Second, I have one more session of my burnout prevention during winter where we'll talk more about sleep, but also the other factors of winter that might contribute to your feelings of stress and overwhelm. This is a one-time training, so it does have an enrollment cost, but it's going to provide you tangible tools that you can use to decrease your stress and improve your productivity. It also comes with a companion workbook for you to use throughout the winter months to really get the most out of this season in terms of your fulfillment. I'm going to drop a comment right now in the on this video for you to grab your spot. Enrollment is limited, so make sure that you grab yours today. Hope to see you there. We'll see you next week back here for another conversation about how you can engineer your energy, how you can prevent burnout, and improve your overall productivity. We'll see you there.